All right, everyone. This was not a video I thought I would be doing today of all days. For On a somewhat lighter note, happy Saturday. Um, Also, I'm glad to be here. 29 years. Today is my birthday. Wait, it's 7/18. Yeah, I think I'm technically not born, I guess you could say, for another 30 minutes. I forgot the exact time frame, but whatever. I'm happy to be here. But I know this video will be up when it's officially my birthday, however you want to say it. But if you saw my post in the community tab, then you already know what's going down. I went to bed early because I got my Rona test soon in a couple hours at the time of the recording of this video. And I decided, let me get some rest. My sleeping pattern has been all over the place. I just want to be well rested, take the test, come right back to the apartment. I'm going to chill for the rest of the day. Use that time for reflection. Don't want to do a ton of work. Pretty much just kind of sit back and make the most of the birthday. I did go out grocery shopping on Thursday morning, super early, to avoid any kind of interaction with people. So don't worry, folks. I was safe. Praise God. I got everything I needed and then some, well stocked up here. So thankful to God for that. And I woke up at 3:30. I'm like, okay, great. I got a good amount of sleep. I want to be wide awake, take this test, come right back and chill. So I cut the TV on because I was about to go brush my teeth and wash my face. And then the first video that popped up on YouTube was Chadwick Boseman, rest in power. And I'm like, is this a joke or something? What's going on here? Because, the channel that it came up on, I was thinking to myself, because I know somebody mentioned this video, Calvin Michaels, that channel in a live stream I did. I'm like, yeah, I actually love Calvin's channel. I've been subscribed to him for well over a year. And I'm like, okay, so rest in power. Like, did he like retire the role of Black Panther or something? Because, I'm thinking what's going on. And then rest in power, I'm like, please don't tell me that Rona got him. So then I hit the video and I was floored. Like, I was gonna, start this year, if you will, to make it the best one in my life and everything, regardless of what 2020 throws my way. And then a punch to the gut like this. Like, it was announced he passed like around 10:15 on the 28th. So remember, I'm freaking conked out sleep. Like, I'm just knocked out. So I had no idea, but then I checked my phone. I got a bunch of inboxes and tags and everything, and people will let me. I'm like, holy crap. And then when I learned how he passed the colon cancer, and not to mention he had been battling that for like 4 years now. This is like it's like when Kobe passed. It's like one of those things where you don't ever see it coming. And it just makes you reflect on stuff. But let me just say this, because I did take time to post on, the different groups and pages on Instagram, because I feel like the post I made kind of reflect how I felt. And I know that somebody reposted the video from the Jimmy Fallon show, where this is like recently after Black Panther, and like, him and Chadwick are like behind the curtain, and, they would have people come up and kind of like, they would have a poster of Black Panther, and they would be like, hey, if you could tell Chadwick one thing, what would it be? And like, people talk about how they were inspired seeing a person that looks like them on the big screen and whatnot. And then he would come out from behind the curtain and people would lose their minds. Because in my post, I was saying, like, most people know Chadwick from the numerous roles he has portraying the lives of other people like James Brown, Jackie Robinson, and even, fictional characters like Black Panther. But there's so much more to it than that. But then seeing moments where he came out to fans to, embrace them and whatnot, those moments really reminded me that Chadwick will be prepared. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Chadwick. If he will be remembered for being himself as well, not just for who he's played on screen. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there like a video movie award on MTV or VH1 at one point? And he had won an award, but he actually invited and gave the award to a real life hero, I believe. And I know the details are kind of sketchy in my mind because it's been a while, but I believe it was a young man who was a real hero in an active shooting situation at like a restaurant or something like that. Again, I forgot the exact details, but I remember that was an amazing moment where he took a moment where he was being given the spotlight, but decided to shine the light on someone who was a real life hero. And again, moments like that are what he's going to be remembered for, as well as a Black Panther or a Jackie Robinson or one of the other numerous roles he played. But aside from his legacy, I just wanted to talk about the fact that this came out of left field once again shows you that people are waging wars behind closed doors we don't even know about. Like the fact he had been fighting this for like 4 years, so 2016. And correct me if I'm wrong in my math, but I think 2016 was when Civil War came out, which was the first MCU film he was in. So obviously he was filming the film in like 2015 or whatever. So I guess you could say he was diagnosed, after or around the time the movie came out. But then after that, of course, you had Black Panther, then Infinity War, and then Endgame. So and I'm only talking about the MCU films, not to mention all the other films he was part of, during that timeline, if you will. But you just think about Chadwick in terms of, again, it just blows my mind that people can be battling things with a smile on their face, taking photos, doing interviews and everything along those, and working hard. And it's like, the scariest part of that for me is like to think you're fighting cancer and you don't know like what day, what time, what hour, what second could be your last. But here's the one thing I will say, and again, I don't know like the full story, but apparently from what I've read up on and seen, people have said like he was with his family and whatnot at that time. So thankfully he wasn't like alone when he passed. At least I don't think so. Again, based on everything I've seen so far, he had loved ones around. So that thankfully did occur where he wasn't alone. But if nothing else, it just showed me that he didn't give up on life when he was diagnosed. He continued to fight on. Because I remember a while ago, I had seen a photo. I remember it was circulating in like articles of Chadwick, having a dramatic weight loss. And, it was shocking, of course. But as someone who's known as being an actor, your first instinct is to say, oh, well, he's prepping for a new role where he has to lose a lot of weight. So, it's one of those things where, yeah, it was shocking, but you didn't give it too much thought because it isn't uncommon for actors to, fluctuate their body for a certain role. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Christian Bale, aka the former Batman, he did something like that as well, where he lost a lot of weight. But more to the point of this video, I just wanted to say that you just never know. And again, like, even though it literally made me sit down on my bed when I saw the video and started, I hit play, and within the first 30 seconds, Calvin talked about how he had passed a couple hours ago, and I'm thinking that was definitely a shock. But once again, it just gave me even more reassurance that, hey man, you really need to, get yourself together. That's not to say I've been slacking or anything, but at the same time, it's like, you just never know. So I feel like what I'm going to be doing over the next few days, taking time, talk to people I haven't talked to in a while. Like, yeah, I know some people, like, if you don't interact with them for whatever reason, then yeah, they're out of your life for a reason. But there are some people, like I haven't hit up in a while. And I'm not saying, unblock people. I'm not saying talk to somebody that, either friend zone you or you broke up with or whatever the case is. But all I'm saying is tell people how you feel about them when you get the chance. Check in on people, especially in times like this. Now's the time, to just check in and say, hey, how you doing? I remember when Kobe passed, I remember doing that. I spent like a few days like just hitting people up, and I'll tell you, they said like, hey man, just thank you, because there are so many times where you think, oh, I'll call so-and-so tomorrow, I'll text them, because most of my friends are like, married, they have families and whatnot. So it's not as common to talk with each other as we used to, being that I'm not in a situation that, I'm single, no kids or anything. But at the same time, time slips away. It really does. And he was only 43. And like, again, I'm 29, but at the same time, 43 seems like old. And what I mean by old is, I know it's not old, but it just seems harder to get to that age in the times we're living in now. Because I know people talk about, man, I can't wait to get to 2021 and all. I'm thinking to myself, Lord Jesus, I'm trying to make it to the end of 2020, because it's crazy out here. It really is. But all I gotta say is, Chadwick definitely left a mark. That's for sure, inspiring an entire generation of young people to grow up watching someone who looks like them fighting alongside Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man on the big screen, and in movies that broke box office records and whatnot. Not to mention what he's done off camera. How he's treated people. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever heard of any scandal or anything along those lines. Like, I could be wrong, but I know I just never heard anything like that. But it really does suck because, and I'm not saying this to be selfish as a comic book fan and whatnot, but Black Panther, he was one of the driving forces of the next phase that got me excited. Like, sure, Spider-Man, of course, but I was getting excited. I'm sorry, I can't even speak. I'm just at a lost words. Spider-Man was the character I was really looking forward to the most in terms of development, but at the same time, I took it with a grain of salt because the whole Sony Disney thing, it's like I'm not going to get too attached to Peter Parker because who knows how long he'll be able to do movies. But with Black Panther, it's like, you know what, not just for what he represented for black people, but in terms of the MCU as well. But at the same time, I remember not too long ago, there were some disputes saying that he would just be replaced as Black Panther because of situations involving money. Like, they weren't able to like negotiate a price that, would work for him and whatnot. But now looking at the whole cancer situation, it just reiterates, it makes you look, basically learning what we know now about him. It really makes you look back at certain things that happened over the past couple of years and be like, oh damn, because he kept it so close to the chest, so man. But good on him for what a legacy to leave behind through his films, his family, and arguably most importantly, the people he inspired. The people who saw that I could be a superhero too. The people who saw that, and for people like me, obviously being older than young kids, I mean, growing up, who did I have? I mean, Blade, and he was like technically the first Marvel hero to have a film like that, if you will. I mean, for me, I think superheroes who were black were more prominent animated. When I say prominent, I mean like it was a small number, but I had Static from Static Shock, John Stewart, the Green Lantern from the Justice League cartoon. From Marvel, I'm trying to think off the top of my head in terms of anime. I don't think there were too many. Again, this is unscripted. This is just a video I'm putting together on the spot because I just had to get my thoughts out. But it's a sad time, but just check in on people, man. That's honestly the biggest thing to take away from this, because I took some time this morning, wrote in my journal. I couldn't even do a full page because it was hard to even get my thoughts out. I read some scripture, and like I said, I'm just praying that this test goes well, because the last thing I need is to give some bad news on my channel. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get a doctor's appointment schedule in the near future before the year close out. I hope to get a physical and everything, because you just never know. That's all I gotta say. I might do a live stream at some point. I know I'm going to do a birthday live stream, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a Chadwick one. Maybe I'll do Chadwick one. Maybe I'll do an MJ one. But this was not how I wanted to start my birthday off, man. This really wasn't. So prayers for the family, his friends, co-workers. MCU definitely is going to have a gaping hole in it now. It's a shame. Black Panther 2. And again, I don't even want to sound selfish, but I was really looking forward to Black Panther 2 to see what they were going to take the character, especially if he was going to step down from the role. It would have been an interesting exchange of power, because Shuri, like in the comics, Shuri became Black Panther for a time, so that would have been cool. I mean, I was hoping to see him in the future in a relationship with Storm in the MCU, like in the comics too. And the list goes on. But yeah, guys, let me know some of your favorite Chadwick roles. Get On Up was not one of my favorite, like, let's say, black biopics for, black musicians and whatnot. But watching the behind the scenes, I enjoyed his performance. He really didn't look too much like James Brown, but the mannerisms and the dance moves, that, yeah, he had that down. Damn. All right, guys. Now, I'm not even going to use the subscribe there. You already know what to do on this channel, on the videos. I'm not even going to say that. I just wanted to focus on this. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Be safe out there, and have a great day.